Hello and welcome to Is This a Cosmic Joke? With Allison Dorman and Akasha Azurite. Grab your coffee, sit back, and enjoy the show.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to This is a Cosmic Joke. We're going to do energy updates, and then we're going to go through the list, right? Of what's happening. We are here. We're alive. We made it through the last, 3 weeks? Has it been 3 weeks? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Quantum times.
Anyway. Yeah.
Everything just seems to be like...
Yeah, my human has...
Some weeks are really slow. Some weeks are really fast. I don't even know. I'm like, what day is it?
I don't know.
I think it's the 16th.
It's a day. I'm awake. I'm alive. Yeah, no, it's my human has not done very well through all of this. I'm fine, and I've got downloads galore. Things are just coming in so multidimensionally that it's like trying to, again, look at everything and put it all together, going, oh my gosh, we've got genetics, we've got this, and I'm having fun, but my human really until about 6 p.m. is not functioning. It's just not. So that's all right.
We have genetic downloads coming through. I mean, it's new genetic downloads coming through. Major timeline reviews. I'm officially connected to God's source at this point. That's been interesting. It's connecting to God's source will burn the top of your head. I realized that.
It burns at least a foot above too. It's like you've got this. You feel like a cone head. You feel like the whole thing is
It's like sitting there talking to, and I'm like, you're burning my head right now. He's like, you'll be all right. He's like, energy. It's an energy. It's not. It's.
Yeah.
I know what it is because I've had connection with him on and off, or him. I'm gonna say him or her. It.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it for probably about 6 years now. But this is like way beyond like what I've experienced. And I was like, I thought it's supposed to feel like some type of ecstasy running through your body, and not yet. I was like, I thought maybe this is like different. It was burning, like frying the top of my head and then frying the bottom, but it's fine. I mean, it turns down after a while, after you have the conversation and I had a lot of questions. Sure. I was like, I really want to talk to you right now. So it was definitely a beautiful experience to do that too. So
yeah. It sometimes I get annoyed. My human gets annoyed because it's like everything is fine, everything is wonderful, and I'm like, no, it's not. But that's the human seeing things from a human perspective, and I
then
get
first
it.
goes into the whole breakdown of universal laws and between the whole universe and how does it work, and after all my questions, it's probably like, can you ask me different questions? Let's ask some higher questions. Okay, so
get the little stuff out of the way. No big deal.
Here I am running my tape of review, my movie tape, and I'm like, I just want you to see everything that I've come across, everything that's going on. You're telling me everything's great. Let's go through the life review right now. But it's that's what it is. It's literally like the whole life review, and it's fun. The lady Amanda was explaining. Thank God you sent me that video because that was awesome. What she does, her work is amazing. And she was explaining as you're going up on the galactic timelines.
Yes.
When you'll hit a certain point where it's like all life review is what you're going through. So it's basically death in the living body too as well. Still waiting on that final death.
Just say it's done and keep moving. It's done.
It's already done.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
It's already done.
Well,
But
you're right, because the genetic upgrades on stuff, because we had the 17-dimensional shield that
Mhm.
came online and brought with it the mitochondrial DNA rewrite, which is putting us closer to the original human blueprint, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
And so our bodies, I mean, I've noticed that for a couple of weeks where my body was feeling really weird. It was as though there is a whole new blood system. Everything was different, rewriting organs, rewriting systems, which, just took a little bit of time. I mean, the human has been running under this old system for so long that some of us, it just takes a little longer. Maybe it's age, I don't know. Maybe the younger ones are going faster than some of us older folks, which is, what it is. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
It'll get through it. But yeah, the genetic upgrades, they're bringing up more stuff in the genetic lines. So because we are now having that core issues brought up that's been within the genetic line of our human, we've got those issues that are coming up to be resolved. So it could have happened to a great or however many back, but that's stuff that is still in the genetic line within the cells because you're made of those ancestors, and those are coming up to be cleared. And sometimes we don't understand what it is, why it is, because we've got our genetic stuff that's going on, and then we have our soul level stuff, my stuff of what I came here to do coming up as well. And sometimes that doesn't even have anything to do with this physical human form. Yes. So again, we're talking so multidimensional on the mind can't comprehend. The mind gets confused and it wants to shut down or, come up with all kinds of reasons, excuses, or anything else, because it's not understanding that we're really processing eons of information in a split second.
Yeah.
And I've been noticing within the last 2 weeks, don't ask me time, in the last little bit, where the information is coming in faster and faster. It's as though we would get, I would get a download of this and I would have, a couple hours or something to really pick it apart and look at it. And now it's down to minutes. It's like, then there's the next one, there's the next one, there's the next one. And that's why I was saying, I'm having a great time with all the information that's coming in, all the puzzle pieces that are being filled in, but my human is kind of struggling.
Yes.
But
they
okay.
I got a whole, if you want to say, how would you put this into terms, right? I would soul genetic downloads.
Yeah.
Okay. So I received that whole download. You can call them soul codes, but it's a whole soul genetic download. Like I was sitting there going, oh my God, like just, downloading the information. But see, you're able to write. I download everything in codes.
Right.
So, I mean, but I'm able to see, they show me, they'll literally show me how it's pieced together and how it's broken down as well. And then also the solar body that we're being upgraded to.
Cellular body.
Cellular. That was pretty cool too. Yes. That was just awesome. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Just to sit here and to be able to receive these downloads is just.
Well, and to use the word side of that is when we talked about before, the original replication, which became the soul group.
Yes.
Well, our souls themselves, we know that the higher self, the souls, are in multiple physical and non-physical forms all at the same time, throughout all time and space. Mm-hmm. All of my soul parts, fragments, fractals, whatever we want to call them, are all doing their work at the same time, right now. And so some of them, as we talked about, are light and some are night. And that really has to do with, the training of when they were in a genetic form and what they were taught, what they were trained, and what that particular soul fractal took on as its beliefs and systems. Mm-hmm. So it is, we are a soul that is fractalized, that has many different beliefs, many different ways of being, I guess you could say, from the light and the night. And our job through the ascension process has been pulling all of them back to neutral, to the soul, so that it was all integrated as one, which is done through the oversoul.
Yes.
So we've talked about the oversoul, and the oversoul is like the, what's the word? Supervisor of all of the higher selves. So I am one higher self, and it goes through the oversoul, who's kind of like what people think of as God from that standpoint, because it's a person that oversees, you know, and answers your prayers, or answers and helps you and assists you. So the oversoul is responsible for all of the me's throughout all time space, and it keeps track of who's doing what. So in some of the through, like we've talked about, you'll hear the call for help or the call for assistance or whatever it is.
Which
Well,
I'm picking that up. Yeah.
It's another higher self, me, communicating with the oversoul, asking for help. And we do switch higher selves. They switch bodies, because we've talked about that before. It comes a time where all of a sudden, like, all of my tastes change, and I just want, you know, I don't know, Chinese food or something like that. And my whole decor changes and everything changes. And people may think that it's a walk-in or something else has happened. And it is, but it's you. It's another one of your higher selves that has stepped into this physical form to assist with the next stage of what you're going through. And that is the oversoul's job, is to make sure that we're put in the right physical forms to do. So what we've been doing is helping ourselves. Again, and that's why when we talk about that, it was like we are all one, because we have this multitude of ourselves.
Yep.
But in the next, I mean, the push has been to get us into the 28th dimensional shield and to Merkaba 11 by the end of the year for the majority of us. And that puts us in our oversoul self, which brings on huge responsibility, because in essence, us in this physical form, this particular higher self in this physical form, is equal to or in alignment with the oversoul, and responsible then for all of the other me's in the other physical forms. So it's huge responsibility from that standpoint. And then we can step into our Christed self. It's as though when we get to the oversoul, it's like our apprenticeship. Can you do this? Are you going to do this? Can you hear the thousands of yous that are out there calling for help and needing assistance, and direct and, you know, take care of all of this at once to be able to move into your Christed soul self? We can. So some of us may think that, you know, I'm kind of, what the heck is going on? This is weird. But we really have to step out of fear. We have to step back and going, I can do this. I can do this. Anyway, that's, you know, a little tiny bit of what has come through on a lot of stuff.
It's really crazy.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Excuse me. But it just shows us our own skills, abilities, power that we have that we've been denied. We didn't know we had. We are absolutely directing our realities.
Yeah. Exactly. Isn't the avatar consciousness? You have the oversoul, and then you have, is the avatar the Christ itself?
That could be another term for it. It's really similar along the same like,
okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Because that's what they said. It's the avatar consciousness is the next one. The next one up. Now, something that was given to me is that a lot of people are going to be hitting Christ consciousness. I mean, they're working towards it right now, but probably in the next few months. I mean, a lot more is going to be coming online than what is already online. They say there is few, not many, but a lot of people are going to be hitting the Christ consciousness. I mean, by like flash work. Some people will be able to do it faster than others. So
exactly. And the anticipated date for Merkaba 11, which is the oversoul body, will be 12/12. That's what they have. And so they actually have from 12/12, and they're really allowing up to the March 22nd date, which is still tremendously huge.
Okay.
At the March 22nd date is when we're supposed to be able to receive Merkaba 12. Of course, some before, some after. It's not a set date, but that's the proposed rollout or expected date, I guess, for a majority of people. And that runs us up to the body of the Brotherhood of Light, body 18, which is really being really good on our integration. I'm like, yay, we're getting there. So
yeah, it's going. The people that are going to be hitting the Christ consciousness right now are going to be the ones that are doing it for the collective. So I felt it probably like 2 days ago that there's people that are hitting the Christ consciousness to come online, so they're doing it for the collectives. So they, so it ripples out and
yes,
brings other people online.
Which is one thing that I'm noticing quite a bit lately, because we've got the collective consciousness, and you have collective consciousnesses for, races, for communities, for culture, for the planet, for the galactics, for each, there are different consciousnesses. And we talked about it a few months ago where they were all kind of merging and coming into greater alignment within the galactic core. One thing that's happening is, as we are having access to what the collective consciousnesses are, we're collapsing them. And every time that we're rewriting a program within ourselves, within myself, I'm actually rewriting and broadcasting it out to the collective, both through the genetic line and on a soul level. So that when we are undoing a particular program, then the whole collective consciousness also receives that, and it's as though it didn't exist. And part of it, it almost looks similar to like the Mandela effect, where you're like, wait, this didn't happen? What is it? And that's part of the collective consciousness, because as we continue to cast off beliefs and ripple it through the consciousness, then that particular timeline, that particular thing, area, or events didn't happen, because we're undoing them. It's part of the whole hologram, of reality. And so the interesting thing is we're breaking down these realities, the conscious beliefs of whole collectives. So it makes me wonder at times, like, what do we really look like? What color really is the sky? What color is the grass? What are these basic things that as a collective, we've always said the sky is blue, the grass is green, this is red, whatever, because that's a belief system. As we're breaking down these lower program belief systems, at what point do we recognize and look around going, oh my gosh, it's all just energy? Those were all projections on a collective level that were bought into and propagated, whatever the word is, for generation after generation, and became truth.
Yes.
But it's not. We're breaking down all of that.
Yeah, my reality has pink clouds.
Yeah.
I literally have pink clouds in my reality, and I was like, this is awesome. I was like, sitting there, like, I was like, oh my God. So now I'm going to bring in a lot of rainbows. I was like, I want rainbows. I want unicorns running around. I want pink clouds. I want at least 3 moons. And I'll come up with the rest.
We could have 3 different color moons. You could do, like the pink, the blue, and the gold or something. Yeah, it would be so cool.
And I'm making sure a lot of other things are just not in my reality at this point. I was like,
it is. And things come up and we see them out in the collective, but it again becomes our mastery of like, just because I see it doesn't mean I buy into it.
Yeah.
I can see it. I can see that is a belief system. I can see that there's enough people in the world that believe that, so therefore it's true. How do I uncover that? How do I get underneath of that? How do I dissolve it so that then no one has to see that as a thing? And it comes down to, a lot of us have that underlying fear program. It's just there. It just is. And it's been one of the most difficult things for everyone. And the realization is, fear is in the mind. It is you thinking something that's not happening.
Yep.
It's not happening. I mean, danger is one thing. Yes, we understand that there is danger, but in that moment of danger, if you focus and stay aware, which most people are, become hypersensitive and hyper aware of what's going on around you, you can handle it. You can maneuver it, like in the Matrix or something. You dodge the bullets because you are totally in the moment aware of danger. But fear is the mind getting away from itself and making up all kinds of scenarios. Like this could happen, this could happen, this could happen. And we get so lost, the human gets lost in this whole train of thought it's just a story. It's not real.
Yeah, I have a really great teacher, guide that tells me that fear is just an illusion of the matrix system.
Yeah.
And and was repeated about it for years, and made me realize that you need to understand that that is a fear and a matrix system that is running inside of you.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, on a genetic cellular level.
Right. And that includes, doubt, anger, frustration, anxiety. All of that is in that same program. It's not like, I'm afraid. It's all of those less thans that cause you to bounce out of the present moment.
Yes. And it depends on what reality. That was another thing my guides told me too. They're like, it depends on what, what frequency you're at. And I'm like,
Yes.
what frequency are you at? And I was like, well, thanks guys. So why don't you just hop on up?
Well,
whatever.
Yeah.
Which the dimensions is actually it's in our brain.
Yes.
Yes,
it's a setup.
We see it as external, but it's all in here. We are a beautiful, lovely computer system. People can think whatever, but it's facts. The dimensions is actually here. It's in the consciousness. I'm sorry. Thank you. They're correcting me. It's in the conscious, like it's the consciousness, the whole shebang, like.
Correct.
And as you go up, and you're able to raise all the way up and go into between the planets and the universes and then the other universes, and that's what everything is just, it's a conscious. That's what it is. Source is a consciousness.
And the physical body is only one of 25 of the operating systems. And people get so stuck in that number one. I mean, the physical form is number one. It's like you're way back at, kindergarten. Recognize you are not that body. That body is a genetic thing, a blob that was created from other genetics that you came and inhabited, so you had a vehicle. Yep. And that's like, people, you're not your name. You're not that. That's not you.
Well, that's where the soul comes in, but go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, and that's like trying to get people to understand that's been programmed because we weren't taught how to work through the programs, and we accepted all the programs, then it's just taken over. I mean, these physical forms are basically like an AI that we're running the show, running our life, bringing to us what we thought about, for showing us that this is real, when all it's done is it's generated that itself. So we have to step in, we have to take back over. But you're right, the frequency that a person is at is shown by what's generating in your field. Yeah. And how you accept it or see it. There can be stuff, pretty crappy generated in my shield or in my field, but my response to it and my reaction to it is what determines and shows me where my frequency is.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is coming up. A lot of stuff is also on a genetic cellular level.
Yes.
So this is great because this actually came down for me, but I don't think we've discussed this yet. So on a DNA level between our genetics, right? If our parents have not resolved anything that have happened to them in their lifetime here, it is literally passed on to us for clearing. Now we're clearing it, but if we clear everything, and you can say in the lower chakras, okay, traumas and ancestral, and we're able to clear it, we can clear it for our children. If we don't clear it, you're going to see the looping timelines of reality of what happened to you is going to happen to your child. It's the same thing. over and over again. And that's something that came down probably about 2 days ago. And I felt like I was doing a class, right, with my soul group. And I know it sounds
I do that.
funny. My soul group, I can feel my soul group around me, and I'm like, all right, guys, this is, people are going to think we're whack jobs, but whatever. So I'm sitting there breaking down the clothes, and I'm like, I want you to get this, okay? So these are the things that are happening right now in your life, and this is, if you haven't noticed, what happened here is actually looping and happening to your children. So if you have children, if you're able to go in and you clear this completely, you break through this matrix system, it won't happen to your children's children's children. I mean, this is what we're here for. So I was like having a class, like sitting there explaining, I'm like, I'm just letting you know, okay? Like, this is what we're here to clear. So if you are able to really go within, because it's inner work.
Yes.
I mean, you have to look at everything that you've done, even as a child, making mistakes. But a lot of things during your childhood, okay, those things that happen to you actually happen to your parents or some type of family along the way. And because they didn't know, because they didn't know to clear it or cleanse it at this time. This is different. So it's rippled, and it's the same, it's literally a cycle. So it's, and that's where, okay, and that's where they come up with you know, the cycles, history repeats itself again. Well, yeah. Like, it's like, that's what, you know, so I'm sitting there giving this class, and I'm like, do you remember that one? Well, here you go. So if we go in, you clear it, boom, and it's cleared for the children.
And for your parents and grandparents and all the way back.
Exactly. And you're clearing it all the way. I mean,
in some cycles, we don't know how long they've been in effect. I mean, has it been in effect since the first human, you know, genetic whatever form? And has this cycle been going on for thousands upon thousands, 50,000 years?
Yeah.
That nobody's looked at it, nobody's broken it? Doubtful, because I know that the early humans were able to deal with this stuff. And most of it has come into play probably within the, what, they're saying the last 5,000 years. That a lot of the traumas and a lot of the stuff is really overtaken that we haven't been able to be resolved. So even looking at a 5,000-year-old trauma in your genetic line, there's no way you could even understand what that was. But you know that it's showing itself to be healed in something that's going on with your body.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was my morning class.
It's funny because I do that too.
Group, I'm guessing at this point.
Being wondering about that.
Come in and they're like, we're taking notes.
Well, and that's funny that you say that, because that's the way it is with me too. It's almost as though all the information is coming in, and maybe that's my way of being able to remember it. It's like I'm immediately standing in front of people, either telling them to take notes or running through the whole thing. And there's times it's like, wow, I guess I've got it because I'm teaching it. So yeah, I do classes every night, it seems like. But
listen, I have dreams where I'm standing up on a microphone going, all right, this is this is that, come on, pull these onto the front, I need you guys to get this right now.
I do too.
These downloads so we can clear. We're hitting, it's going to be beautiful. And the end of it, it really is. It's gonna be amazing, and it's gonna be beautiful. And we coexist. That was funny. That was a funny message. It's just, and we have to clear all the stuff. We have to clear our doubts and our fears, and we have to clear judgment. That's another big thing that's definitely coming up in the collective. Judgment to yourself. Let it go, because that's something. And it is hard to let it go, right? It depends on everything's within yourself. Things that judging other people or judging yourself too. But that's something that when talking to Source was like, you need to realize that those are programs that are running. It's not who your soul is. It's not who your infinite being is. You know, like these are things that it's like, it's a system, you know, so kind of
just a food source.
It's basically,
it's a food source. And that's part of what is happening, because judgment is a big one, because judgment, jealousy, you know, resentment, betrayal, all of those. What?
Persecution has been coming up.
Yes, it has. I've had dreams like that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because what happens is these programs start to run, and it will generate feeling to feeling, you know, when the human starts running through its list of whatever and comes to this judgment or whatever phase that they're coming to. That energy is a food source for some of the lower density beings, entities, whatever we want to call them, and they need a food source because there's so many of us that are doing our work and clearing the programs and clearing it out, that some of those, I mean, they exist, obviously. There are lower frequency beings or entities that are on this planet that are feeding off the humans. So when they can get them angry, when they can get them mad, when they can go into resentment, when they can go into, you know, judgment, all of these things, they're getting fed. And it becomes, again, we are responsible for our frequency and our energies, and to be aware at all moments of where the mind or where the program is attempting to lead us. And we have to be able to stop that. We have to be able to stop and go, whoa, nope, not going there. You know, I'm aware. Let me switch back to the now and not take that track. Because the other part of that is they will have people, I mean, it comes with, you know, alcohol, with drugs, with, I don't know, pornography, with whatever other subject that there is, that when you visit their house, so to speak, and that addiction, you are giving them tacit consent to visit your house. So because you are playing in their playground, they have the right to come into your body and do the same, which becomes a whole catch-22. So it's like, again, we have to set those parameters. We have to stay out of what we know we're not supposed to be into, because we don't, I mean, it's just more to clear constantly. And again, there's no judgment. You do what you do, but clear, learn, and understand that we don't want lower entities creating havoc within our fields, because just so they can get fed. I don't want to be the smorgasbord that has all this chaos and drama and all this crap coming up just so that they can get fed, which is how you know. If you've got thing after thing after thing, and then you've got something good that happens and you're like, but I don't even get to enjoy it for 20 minutes before, boom, that tells you right there, you've got a program running that is sending you up and bringing you right back down, because it knows how that affects you. It knows the yo-yo. So neutrality, again, is it's imperative. We have got to be in our mastery of observing and not buying into what we see, because it's just there. It's there to suck you in. And if you keep getting sucked into it, you're creating your world. That's your reality. You're doing it.
Exactly.
Because you're not clearing.
Yeah. Sometimes it can take a few days, and it depends. I mean, you're gonna go up in the higher realms, you're gonna be brought back down to clear. I mean, that's it. Basically, it is what it is. I go offline at this point. I'm like, and I will be continuing going offline, and that's just what it is. And people, I swear, I'm going offline because I'm going inward.
Correct.
You know, I'm want to change for my child too.
And when I come out, I have altered and changed all of that. Yes.
I'm clearing for her children, you know, and beyond, you know, family, genetics, and stuff on top of it. So that's what I have to do. It's very self-sacrificing at this point, and that's what I'm here to do for the collectives.
And for those of us that have grandchildren, puts it at a whole nother level, because it's like, it really is weird how when you look at grandchildren, you're like, you don't want anything, nothing to happen to them at all. And you can see those cycles, because it's like, I can see them in my life, then I can see them through my child's life. And then as they start to pop up in a grandchild's life, it's like, oh, hell no. No. This child is not going to experience that.
Yeah, exactly.
Even as far as sickness or, you know, these different things, it's like, well, wait, you know, was I sick as a child? Was my child sick as a child? Now the grandchild is sick. What do I need to look at? Yeah. What do I need to clear? Because obviously I've carried this program through for whatever reason.
Yep. You have to be willing 100 and 200% willing to self-sacrifice.
Absolutely.
Be a self-sacrifice to be able to do this work, and know that you're self-sacrificing, and knowing that you're going through every single upgrade, and you're going through every single spiritual death. that you have to go
Absolutely.
through.
And as we've talked before, if it means no TV, no computer, no phone, you put the damn thing down.
Yep.
That's
That's what it is. It's pure. It really is. The more and more every spiritual death that I go through, I guess you could call it spiritual death, but I realize that it is I came in here on a mission for pure sacrifice. Yeah. That's what I came in here for. And now I'm actually realizing that. So
and it's not even on a human level sacrifice.
It's on a galactic level.
I know. And the humans want to
override it. This is on a galactic
it.
level as well.
I know.
Thank
because
God
the human wants to override and say, no, I should be able to do what I want to. You know, I've got free will and I want to do this and this is okay and this is what everybody does. And you're like, program. Get over it.
Programs. Oh my God, that's another epiphany I had too. This one was funny. Where do we think that we have to have a partner? That's a program running where you think that you need to be married, or do you think these are all programs running? That was a good one that came in. Of course, my counsel's like, well, they're contracts. And I was like, I don't care. That is a program running. And I'm excusing you. No, I love them. They're my soul family. But that's a program running too.
And the difference between
happy and content with yourself. And I'm not Robin. I love you, by the way. I'm not talking about you, Robin. Okay, but it's a program running. I
love him too.
Program running. I was like, this is serious. This is some serious like pulling up. I'm like, okay, so get rid of this one too.
It's true, and it becomes
love yourself.
We are, yeah, exactly.
Find the Amani love for yourself. Love yourself.
Yeah, and get your galactic shit together, and let's go. Forget the human. Let the human go because it's not you. Oh my gosh.
Those are all human genetic programs that are running.
Yes.
That's what it is.
It is. It is. Shields, the 12D shields. Most, I think, have probably been able to pull down the 12D shields and have them running and activated. Some of us are, at 17 or 22, which is fine. But the 12D shields are now to be anchored around the planet. Similar to what we would call grounding, but we intend that our 12D shield be anchored into the center of the planet in our unique location, because there's a reason that we're different places. These Stargate points around the globe are coming online, like full online. Many are still, well, they're trying to. Many are still blocked, many are still hijacked. There's many that are still inaccessible by the light, but we're overriding that. By us anchoring the 12D shield, in essence, it's setting a new grid of, well, an additional grid, a different grid of the 12D shield, which then we can upgrade to the 17th, the 22nd, and then the, 28th, sorry, the 28th dimensional shield, which should be active for the majority of those that are ready by the end of the year. By being able to accelerate up through the 28th dimensional shield, we can blow any negative or any lower dimensional forces from those points and be able to have full access again out with all of our stargates on this planet. That's the current plan that they're talking about. And those they're in multi-dimensional. They're not like 28th dimensional shields. Like Uluru is the newest one that will be coming online, or is attempting to come online here within the next 3 months, and that's the 6th dimensional portal. So that one is coming on. So it becomes, again, because we're talking about the frequency of things, and if you're looking at the Earth from a 3rd dimensional level, you've got particular stargates that are visible at that frequency, and then from the 4th and the 5th, the 6th, again, the 6th is the go-between from 5th to 7th. And we've talked about that before as well. The Andromedans are the overseer of the 7th dimension. They're really working with a lot of people in preparing that 6th dimension to the 7th dimension for that next jump.
Yeah.
Just because we're in 5, that doesn't mean they're always in preparation. Hell, the 12th dimension is already working with the 1st dimension of quadrant 8 and getting 13 fortified, because they're anticipating us to move that quickly through the dimensions.
Oh yeah.
But the purpose was the 12D shield having the intention of anchoring it into this planet, and again doing that similar to like the tree of life thing that we see, because that's one of our, well, the original one, not the one that we see that's distorted. We need to get that redrawn with the proper tree of life, so to speak. But it's a oblong that is the connection through all of our energy centers that comes from source. We anchor it through into the earth, and then we reverse it and send it back up. So that there's connection, the anchor to the earth. We're just the line. We're just an energetic, portal, I guess it is, from source to the planet to do that and anchor that to assist her in her movement.
Yes.
It gets confusing, but it's, I can't always find words
and
for it.
It's also, then you have the Merkaba vehicle that's over top of it as well. So
within
something else that was shown to me recently, I mean, going into the vehicles, and when I'm not sitting there kicking and screaming going, what is this? Like, I remember I was laying in bed and I'm like trying to fall asleep, and all of a sudden I hear all these frequencies, and I was like, is this a cosmic joke? Like, I jumped up out of bed. I was like, what is going on?
Exactly. And the images,
it gets so bizarre, like beyond even bizarre. But when I go outside, it's like silence, and I'm like, I'm gonna be sleeping outside for the rest of my life.
we should be, exactly. You can really tell the distortions when you do that. Well, it's the physical image. I mean, we have, the body, and then we have these energetic bodies all around it. Well, at particular points when we have these bodies online, then you have access to the Merkaba vehicle, which is, it's hard to describe, but it's like from the old Stargate series, where you have the thing swirling, bands this way and that way, and everything's swirling at the same time, and you're in the center of it.
Yes.
So oh, look at that. I got the tingles in the back of my head.
And you can see it going around like this. You can feel it going. And I'm sitting there just walking around, and I'm like, this is crazy. And then the little tail's moving in the back. They say we have a tail. We do have a tail.
And so when you think about when you've got the physical, emotional, and mental bodies, is when you get your first Merkaba, the first one that comes online. And those are when you have integrated and are in somewhat level neutrality between your mind, your heart, and your body. You can talk to it, you're in that set. This is like stage 1. And then you get the first and then the second Merkaba. It's like you get those. And then as we come online, like to the causal, the atmic, the monadic body, whichever, it's interesting because you receive your other Merkaba, an upgrade, but yet the images are each body around, each energetic body around you has its own movement in itself, its own function, its own frequency. So some of the frequencies we hear are when you're going online to that next body that's coming online.
Yeah.
And then when you add within that body that you also receive a Merkaba, it's like this Merkaba has expanded to include that body, because now you've integrated that body, and you've got, again, the worrying and all the rest of that. So you're going to have the frequencies of the new body that's coming online that you've been plugged into, the new Merkaba that's coming online, and then the shields as they're shown to me. Again, it's not protection, it's more like a skill set. I want to call it a skill set, because when the 12th dimensional shield comes online, it's as though I've got that armory of, oh yeah, I can do this. Yep, I can use that. Let me plug in to use that. So it becomes this additional storage space of information and of stuff that surrounds where you are at that any given time. And then it just becomes, again, this progression. Okay, so I've got this mastered. Time for the next body to come online. And what I've noticed for me personally has been the new bodies are coming online so frequently in the last couple of weeks that my physical, number one, in the very beginning, as this keeps getting bigger around me, it's having a little bit of problems. which tells me there's still programs running, which I know, and I'm still working through them. So it becomes, the more that we snowball out and add more of these frequency bands around us, more Merkabas come online with other skills, abilities, multidimensionally, and things that we're not even yet fully aware of how to use. And the shields come online. It is putting more and more pressure on the center point, the physical body. And that's why we've been saying for months, and some of us have listened, some of us, are still kind of, I'll kind of listen when I want to. But that physical body nucleus has got to be firm. We have got to tackle all of the problems that we have, all of our issues, all of our programs. Everything has to be looked at, because as it compounds larger and larger, it's really putting pressure on that center point. And that's why with all these energies that are coming through and clearing, and people are coming to a point of, I quit. I can't do this anymore. This is ridiculous. And I'm like, yay, awesome. Because that's where we have to get to. You have to get to the point of, I'm going to stop fighting this and just give in. It really does just take giving in and accepting what I've been taught was false. Everything I believed is true my entire life was a lie. Yep. There's programs running, there's manipulation running, and I can sit here and argue and condemn another person for telling me that I need to let shit go, but I really need to just let shit go.
Yeah. And then you have to become responsible and realize that you're responsible and you are accountable at this point. Absolutely. For everything in your reality and everybody in your reality as well. So
yes.
That's why I stay offline now.
I know.
I love all of you.
But I can't sit in front of the screen.
No, exactly. I love my soul family and all my brothers and sisters. Everyone that's come into my life has shown me where I was unconscious at, and always pulled up everything for me. And I love you and I honor you, and I really do say that.
Yes, I agree.
And throughout, the whole life. It's good.
But I kind of prefer to work with you one-on-one. I do much better, thanks.
So it is a beautiful experience to look at everything, because you want to clear everything. You don't want these things riding anymore inside of you. It's kind of like you feel like you'll get to a certain point where you just want freedom, and that's the freedom part. Where you're like, I'm ready to go back into, it isn't going back into purity. And my counsel does say that. It is find purity. It has to be complete purity. You might, yes. I don't know if you disagree with me on that, but my counsel is that's what they tell me.
Oh, I agree.
So
I agree. And some things we don't even know what purity means, because exactly. We came
what is purity? Are we able to cuss? Purity? No, I'm kidding.
Of course it is. It's authentic. Well, and that's the thing too. I know that we're stripping aside personality. Yeah. And the personality has to go. The personality that was associated with Allison, and who Allison has been through however many incarnations I've reincarnated myself in this body as mother, daughter, grandmother, wife, sister, all the rest of it. All of those have to go. Those were plays, those were programs, those were all the rest of it. And it becomes, how do we let go of all of the personalities and programs of the human form so that soul, can come in and be my authentic self?
Yep.
And that's what this whole thing has been about. And we all express differently. And that's because, again, my soul has been through however many incarnations on how many planets and how many different experiences. I am absolutely unique in my frequency, in my skill set, in my experiences, and being able to express who and what I am in the highest form of me, and not harm anyone and not cause anything to have to want to feed off of me. That's what it's all about. That's the bottom line. I'm still working on it. I'm not fully there.
Exactly.
But I will be. I will be.
Well, according to 2039, we will be.
Yes.
2039, write this down, is going to be a big year. I got that information for a lot of things.
I confirm and double confirm. That's the proposed date. We could do it sooner. There's always open for us to jump faster.
Well, that could be why I'm receiving the information from 2039.
Exactly.
Which technically I would be 50, and I think you would be like, how old would you be?
I don't know, 80 something?
Well, you're still alive.
Thanks. Good to know. Well, and we are getting to that point genetically because we recognize that the programs are the illness. I mean, this is all programs. To die is a program. We don't have to. We will be. We are getting back to the point where, as in even the Bible times, they chose when their life was over and when they chose to leave the physical body, and that's where we're getting to. It's a choice. It will be a choice as to when I choose to leave. But I mean, I've known for, I think since I was like in my early 20s, they said that I would be here like 1,500 years, to which I laughed at, going, oh, no way. But now I'm seeing that it really is quite possible.
I can see you go, I'm done. I'm ready to go. This is it.
Which means how many more generations do I have to teach and get up to speed? You know, come on, guys.
Exactly. You know how many times I've sat there and cried? Please, just take me back home. I'm ready.
Oh, I wonder if that works out to like 8 generations.
Maybe.
I don't know how. Yeah. Whatever. 8's my number. Okay, enough.
It's my lifeline. Do you have anything? Do you have anything else? Do I have anything else?
Oh my God, there's crap loads, but not for today.
Just everything's down. There's something else. No, I did. I actually, everything that I received so far. Yeah, that's it. I'll just be doing light language downloads.
Good.
For that, and, you know, everything I received, I'll be putting it out.
Yeah, I was going to try to draw out some stuff that's coming through. I'm not the greatest at my 3D drawing, but I'm just going to have to ask for assistance on, you guys are just going to have to help me out here.
Yeah, exactly. All right. We love you guys. Thank you for joining in. Become a Patreon with us. We have beautiful activations too as well, and her meditation videos that she's going to be putting up. Oh, and her book. Wait, I do want to talk about the book. Hold on, wait. We're not leaving yet.
Okay.
The book is magic. It's number one. When I received her book, I opened it and a flash of light came out of it. And I've had, you know, books and stuff given to me. I've never seen anything like that before. And all, like, I can see, you know, the other side, but that was hilarious. I was like, it's magic. It's pure magic. And just going through everything is probably why I went through a lot of what I went through the past week, clearing all the contracts and everything. I was like, wow. You go through that, you'll literally know when you get the answers and stuff, like between all the contracts and then the manipulations and everything on our bodies, and then on our light bodies as well. It's just great. I love it. Anyways, we love you guys. You guys have to get her book too as well.
Okay. Yes, please. Thank you.
Yes. All right. I wonder, hold on.